Okay, ich bin jetzt bei NearTV. NearTV ist ein freier Fernsehsender in Dublin. So ungefähr was Dorf TV in Linz ist NearTV in Dublin. Und ich habe jetzt gleich bei mir, also bei ihr im Büro eigentlich, die Elaine, die uns einmal kurz ein bisschen erklären wird, was die denn so tun in Dublin. So, welcome.
Thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about NearTV, please?
Okay, well, NearTV is a part of the Near Media Cooperative. So we have a radio station which has been established for a lot longer than NearTV. Um, we're, I suppose, growing as it sounds initially. We've been here for, well, probably the idea of having a TV station has been here for, I think, as long as the cooperative. They wanted to have all of the different types of media. So we have IT as well as radio. But in the last maybe 6 or 7 years, it's been developing a lot more than it had been. Dublin now has a community television station which is broadcast on cable. It's on UPC 802, so it's quite up in 802 is hard to find, but it's there. So we're lobbying a lot to try and move that forward. So we, as sort of like a production house, for North Dublin, and every Monday evening we have a slot on that channel. So we just put whatever we want on there, and we have access and control on what we want to show. We work with volunteers, with community groups, and we do training, both with, say, young people, with teenagers, with groups of adults in the locality and that type of thing. And then just with volunteers, anyone who wants to get involved. They don't need to have any skills before they come to us. We train them up from point zero. And and then so once people volunteer with us, we give them access to equipment and support, and we just go down the road. They can make what they want to make once within certain ethical rules. But yeah, that's what we do.
How many volunteers do you have?
It varies. I suppose we've through the books, maybe we've got 30, 35, 40, something like that. But people come in and out in terms of how much time they can give at a particular time. For us, really having even 10 volunteers who are very active would be a lot to manage. It's amazing how much support volunteers do actually need. Um, I suppose our teenage group also now are volunteers. So after we trained them, they were a group through the Youth Leadership Project. So they're still coming into us, and there's another 10 of them pretty much, but they bring in other friends as well sometimes. So yeah.
So, what are the goals of NearTV? What would you transport to the community, to the society?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it's about access. I think more and more TV is becoming so samey, with the States and the programming coming from the UK and Ireland in particular. We get a lot of programming from the UK and the States, and it's all very samey. The formats are the same, and the power structures within how it's being shown are very clear. So I really do believe that there needs to be an alternative. There needs to be a space where people can have programming that they want to produce with accents that they want to produce. This area is quite a working class area, so it's very, very seldom that you hear the accent from North Dublin on television, on mainstream television, unless they're the bank robbers or the junkies or something like that. So that kind of side of it is very important in terms of how areas are represented and the control that people can have on it. Um, what else? Other with the broadcast media, because I think with YouTube, you can you have access to broadcasting something, but I think people will still go to television, to standard television. They still want to. They all sit around at 6 o'clock in the evening or whatever time as families. It still exists as maybe not as important as it was, but I think it will always be there. And I think it's important for us to get onto um, that kind of an outlet or that kind of a broadcaster in order to, again, it's control and power, that we can actually have things made by regular people on those kind of programs. Yeah. Does that make sense?
For
I
me, it
hope
makes sense.
I'm not talking too fast as well.
Yeah, I don't know what else? What are the special things? Yeah, from Near TV.
Special
What's
things.
yeah? What's the best mistake
Ah!
NearTV ever made?
Best mistake. Oh my god. And we're making mistakes all the time. No, I think it's a challenge. I think we're all the time challenging ourselves. You know, we've worked with different types of groups. We worked with a group with learning difficulties from the Central Remedial Clinic, and it took a lot of time and resources, but it was really worthwhile. And to see the confidence of the group, so these were young people with disabilities, to see the confidence that they had when they came through the program that we made, it was amazing. But having said that, we don't, I suppose, in the sense that it's a mistake in some ways, the resources are limited. So in order to actually empower them to get to a point where they're going to be making stuff themselves, it's, you know, we really don't have the resources to do that. So that's something that we maybe hope to do in the future. And the young people that we work with then from the youth leadership program, they're you know, great, and hopefully they'll be the ones who can facilitate then others to do it as well. So ideally that's it. But with it's, I think volunteers come in and they don't know what to expect themselves because it's so new. It's such a new way of looking at making television, and people are ingrained in this commercial outlook of, oh, what budget do you have? How am I going to crew this? What am I going to, you know, they think that you need to have enormous crews and the ego that's involved in commercial media. And so it's a whole different way of doing it. So we're learning every day, and depending on what volunteers come in, they bring their own skills with them, and so it's just that mixing of us learning and them learning, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Elaine.
Okay.
So, nicht nur im kommerziellen Fernsehen ist es Ego recht groß, wie man bei mir sieht, im nicht kommerziellen, im freien Fernsehen. In diesem Sinne, bis später. Thank you.